Well, I've got an updated camera now. It's an AW120. It's still an old camera, but it's 10 above the old one. So we'll see what this is on 30 frames per second at 30 frames per second full autofocus, and see whether that's any better. I went into City Electrical and Martin from MTI was there. They deal with Ethos and Mega and a few other things. And he just gave me, because I did need another one, but I just couldn't justify buying it right now. Just a quickie. I've put in these fan control units, which I didn't do before I did the earth loop impedance testing and the insulation resistance. I didn't do them. So now all the controls are in, and we've got another circuit, or a sub-circuit, which is for the extractor fan on the roof. So that'll join up with the cable, which at present comes down to the second one of those boxes. Yeah, so that's got to be linked up with that, and that will make the switch here, which was faulty, redundant. It'll make the switch here redundant, which make or break was a little bit dodgy on that one. We've got an isolator switch here for the big fan next door, which has the heating on it as well. That will also actuate the contactor for the heat coil feed to this switch. So while that's off, this switch won't actually do anything. With that on, the contactor allows this to pass electricity through it. So yeah, so it enables both two-pole isolation of the fan next door, although it's not lockable. That's an oversight. And this is the fan, but again it's got a single pole switch there, functional switch. This one, however, hasn't got a two-pole isolator, because the two-pole isolator for that really needs to be up closer to the unit itself on the roof, so that when you switch it off for maintenance you are controlling the space where the isolator is. So this is just a single pole functional switch on there. I'm a little, yeah, so this is for switching off for mechanical maintenance of the fan, the ventilator fan up next door. Yeah, there's no way of isolating that except for isolating it on here, turning off the mains there, turning that off for separating the neutral. But this is lockable, so yeah, it's fine. So that's what I managed to achieve this evening. Just this evening. I was on other jobs this morning, and tomorrow I'm on another job first thing in the afternoon. So I'll be back on this. Well, I probably won't actually. I'll be back here to pack my van up before going on that job, and that probably job will take me the whole afternoon. Yeah, so this week I've suffered from a lack of sleep really, and the alley-pally start was on the back of no sleep whatsoever. Really, I got no sleep that day, and it's catching up with me now. And they've been longish days. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm on my way to one of these customers, which I haven't really been able to show very much on YouTube, because what with the big work going on in that other place, it's so much easier just to film that than getting permission off other jobs for other jobs. Oh, I see, this is a right turn, but I'm gonna see if I can take some of this. It's sort of typical sort of job, and it's a lady called Katie, and she's got 2 or 3 things wrong. She's got a garden submain or garden circuit anyway that's been severed. So I've got a resin jointing pack if I need it, or I've got the gel and the whisker boxes. Garden sockets, I don't know whether it's single or double. I've got a double in here, Crabtree double. And yeah, she wants to fit a Nest thermostat, so I've not done one of them before, so hopefully that's quite straightforward. Whether it's easy therm or whatever they call it on the boiler, or just a straightforward connection, I don't know. So that's the only thing I'm potentially, and it's indoors obviously, being a job indoors, so you've got the customer looking over your shoulder. Something I hate really. I'm not comfortable with it unless it's something I've done a lot of, like chasing in sockets and so on. So this is a private estate with very, very aggressive speed humps. As it's into the sun at the moment, I'm not going to bother, but you get the idea. I'm going to turn off them. This is the house. I'll go and knock on her door and ask if she minds me filming some of the jobs for YouTube. Okay, the vibe is that I'm not going to ask this couple for permission to film. Sometimes you just get a vibe, and that's fine. So I'm going to just get on with the job. It's pretty basic.
Turn left, then turn left. You will arrive at your destination at 17:20.
Oh, shut up. I actually am lost now. Right, so what has happened is, it's a bit complicated for me to describe and to drive, so I'll speak to you.
After 100 yards, turn left.
So I am on my way towards home, where I've got a boiler engineer is at home, next door neighbour, via Screwfix or tool station. Because the internal fuse on the boiler is blown. I don't know why it's blown, but it is. Now I went there to fit a heat link for Nest, and I fitted the new heat link, and it will not pair with the controller, which is just what was happening to the old one. Now, so I spent ages on that, not realising that the problem was in fact the boiler had no power. The boiler had power to it. Now, the other thing was that the Nest controller works from the front of the house,
turn left,
and the boiler worked from a circuit on the back of the house. And I've mended their garden cable, and I am in the middle of changing all their outside sockets. But I've just got to get this fuse for their boiler. So witness me going into Screwfix at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, 5:30, whatever it is. Possibly on the understanding I might be able to get it here. Yeah, fuses. They don't even list fuses. Do you sell fuses here?
Fuses?
Yeah.
3 amp, 10 amp?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
For the plugs, you mean?
No, I mean, would it be in... It's not listed under electrical. Look in the back index. You do have them then, do you?
Sell them,
Yeah. It's just, it's not BS 1362 that I'm after. B79 and 744. 746. Still, we've got another socket. I've ended up replacing all the garden sockets because they've all been put in with dirty great holes cut out the back of the enclosures, and then screwed through the back of the enclosures as well, and then mud and rain and everything else gets into them. Now, I earlier had to come and move my vehicle. Of course, I didn't have where to put my keys. There we are. Phew! if I leave these keys with the customer, then get in the vehicle and put my steering lock on when I get to a destination, I've only got one key. I've only got one key for the steering lock, so I would be really stuck. Now, because it's Saturday night and it's 6:45, I might normally be in a hurry to get this job finished, but I'm not going to be, because I want to do a good job, and also I don't want to crash the van, which I did 2 Sundays ago, didn't I? Now, for anyone who doesn't understand why we charge £90 for a call out on a Saturday or a Sunday, weekends, out of hours, all those things, it's just for this reason, £90 for the first hour. With this lady, I only quoted her £60 for the first hour, but the point is, I'm not charging her for a job that I haven't succeeded with, which is to replace her nest heat link. I haven't got it. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut it up. Shut up. So I'm only charging her 60 quid for the first hour, and I'll probably charge her for another 2 hours after that for the work I'm doing, but not for the boiler work. And the reason we charge more at weekends and out of hours is just for this reason. If something comes up, like it does in the course of events sometimes, and we have to go and source a part like we are doing now, it's bloody difficult. Right, Ollie had one. He was asleep. He's been to Bristol this morning at 5 o'clock to commission an oil-fired boiler. Nobody else apparently within the nearest radius of 150 miles could do that, but so he went from Littlehampton. He's given me a whole box of them. Okay, well, we're in the house now, and basically what's happened is the Nest stopped being able to talk to the Nest controller there. The Nest heat link here wouldn't talk, so they've replaced it with a new one. So I've put the new one in, and now it seems to blow the internal fuse here, which is the fuse I didn't have, which is that one there. Can you see that? That little fuse. It's a 2.5 amp fuse. There we go. Every time the Nest engages, it blows that fuse. So what I'm going to do is take the Nest off. I'll put Wagos over the switch lines and a box over that, and they're going to call the Nest guys out, because I don't know what's doing that, what would do that really. It's just a switch on or off. It shouldn't be blowing that fuse. Okay, so I bypassed where the Nest switch. I bypassed that. They're back with their heating, their hot water, so good. I just got to do these sockets now. Got one here to go in here, one out the front, and then we're done. So that won't take very long. An hour at the most. I had to put a new I'll just show you the board I put up, because the board wasn't satisfactory. It went in through the back. They put it in through the back from that piece of timber which isn't really securely fastened, so I've used my hex masonry fasteners actually into here, going through 2 layers of the shiplap, the clinker, and then into that sort of there as well. I had some of this left over from the target tree this morning on the range. It's actually the plywood that I used in my van, so it will last a couple of years before it starts rotting, and water getting into the edge of it. It should last a fair amount of time anyway. It's not going to be brilliant, but then I wasn't expecting to come and have to do this. I thought this would just be, there would be somewhere to actually screw this onto. It'll last longer than a couple of years. It'll probably last 5, 6, maybe 10. These are galvanised, so they're alright. Okay, so where did I get to? Full test. Yeah, that's all done. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? I have to take all these out again because I've forgotten the gasket that goes around there. Another indispensable use of the rocket light. The lid will hold its position at 90 degrees. There should be no apostrophe here on its. Well, here's the other one. But I thought I'd say, look, I'm wearing my new knee pads. They're spring-loaded knee pads. They literally have given me another way of standing, i.e. kneeling, which I wouldn't consider in a lot of cases just because of the discomfort of it. Well, the screws have rounded off because they're so rusty, so having to take a wrecker bar to it. And I'm going to have to put the camera down. Okay, so hi again. Now I need to take the cable into the bottom of this through a gland, a proper gland, to make it watertight. So that hole isn't going to do me. Let's do a low hole and put the cable through the low hole. Because
number of people on benefits and the amount
because the screw has come through, but the rest doesn't touch.
Is to appoint your own assessors rather than doctors.
There we
I
are.
would have thought the obvious thing to do is to accept GP evidence. Yeah. Because they're medically qualified. They've surely got to have a better clue than somebody who's got no medical training at all.
Yes, we have.
Right. And I think you're totally right about reducing. I don't know how brutal the regime now.
David, this one says, if people are aware of individuals using a wheelchair when they don't need it.
Back at Sunday again, which is where we started, and as I pulled out the gate, my old friend Ollie, who works for Arundel Group, was on his way to Leatherhead, and I gave him back his box of mini fuses, which telegraph pole out here. These are good. That's a good bit of equipment. 16 grand's worth. Caterpillar tractor access device. I've seen them using them in the cathedral for changing light bulbs. They can work either on diesel engine or I think they're electric or hydraulic, but you can plug them in as well. So they can work indoors on silent, on electric.